Welcome back to this week's episode of Hate Your Guts Pod. I'm your host, Aleynah,
I'm Vivi.
And I'm Haley.
and this is episode 27.
Yay.
We took a little break there because I went on vacation to Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dream. So I guess we can start off with our shit and tea. My trip was, like I said, amazing. Our first resort was at Animal Kingdom, and we could see giraffes and wildebeest and zebras from our window, and it was really magical.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
All the pictures are gorgeous.
Yes, it was so beautiful, and it was all Christmassy, and even the resort had like really, really nice restaurants. Like we went to a restaurant that was like African Indian fusion.
Yum.
We got really good like curry.
That sounds fire.
It was delicious. All of our meals were like either all you can eat or like a 3-course meal,
Mhm.
3-course or more
Damn.
meal.
Hell
So
yeah.
girl, I ate good.
Period, as you
I
should.
feel like I gained 10 pounds, but I'm on my health journey now, I think, after that. And then my shit is I'm starting to feel sick, and I think I'm going to start my period because I've been so grouchy today. And my boobs feel so sore and heavy. So that's cool. But I've given myself like time to rest after my trip, so I'm feeling okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Disney is magical. I felt like an 8-year-old again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really special. And I know that Disney is not the most ethical company. In fact, it's probably one of the most unethical companies if we're really like thinking about it. But I will say, the like care that I don't know if care is the right word, but the amount of like effort that they put into making it feel magical for every single guest is really incredible.
It is.
Like they really curate like as perfect of an experience as you can possibly get. And I mean, I appreciate it, I guess. But I do like, I want to say I thought it was shitty because we were talking to our server at one of our restaurants that we went to, and they're not allowed to clock in like on their trip to their like place of work. So like they have to like ride the bus and park and like ride the monorail or like whatever the fuck they have to do to get to their job, and they're not allowed to like be paid for all of that time. And that is one thing that I think is very shitty, among many other things. But
I've heard about that because I think they even do that here at Disneyland, which like
they do.
I'm sorry, everyone should be getting paid the second you step foot on company property.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And we know that Disney can afford to do that.
Yeah.
So do better. But yeah, I had a great time. And I'm very grateful for my dad because he's the one who paid for literally every single thing. And he got all the best reservations, got us fast passes so we could get on all the rides that we wanted to. We went to these after-hour parties. We went to the Magic Kingdom after-hour Christmas party thing. There was like a parade, and because it was after hours, it was more exclusive. So like,
Sounds awesome.
the lines for the rides were like really short.
Hell yeah.
And then we did the same thing in Hollywood Studios. So very special. Had a great time, and then just like reconnecting with my adopted dad because he lives in Georgia. He raised me out there with my mom. He still lives out there, but as you know, I'm here in California with my other family that I don't even really talk to anymore. But it's okay.
It would be so fun to take a trip to Georgia.
Yeah, we've been wanting to, so maybe we should all go as a commune.
That would be
so sick.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Are they they live in Georgia now and they travel to Florida for the vacation too?
Yeah, we all
Okay.
flew.
Nice.
You flewed.
We flew.
I saw an alligator. We were riding the monorail, and I had my eyes glued to like the window because I was looking for alligators. And I saw one with my own eyes, and I freaked out. I was like, "Oh my god, babe! I saw an alligator!" And I was so excited because it's crazy seeing them in real life, like not in a zoo, like
Out in the wild.
They're
Like,
just
y'all exist like that?
yeah, like dinosaurs just out here.
Yeah.
Florida's crazy. People get alligators in their yard.
Yeah. Well, I told my dad that I saw an alligator, and he was like, "That's really special because Disney does a really good job at like making sure that like there are no alligators in
Really?
like in like on
Wow.
their property at all. Like, so
So
if
homie snuck in.
he must have snuck in, they're usually really like on top of like removing the alligators,
Mhm.
like relocating them because I guess a few years ago a gator ate someone's baby or kid or something like that.
I'm not laughing
Yeah.
at that.
What are you laughing at?
It's just outrageous.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at it that it's someone's job to get alligators off the property.
I was just thinking, what a crazy job to have to be like an alligator gatherer.
Yeah, it's crazy. Similarly, I posted this on my story. I don't know if you guys saw it, but for our listeners, apparently they like breed these special wasps to go and like they release them at night and then capture them. I don't know how they capture them, but they basically release these wasps to go like eat like bug eggs, like mosquito eggs and larvae and mosquitoes to essentially like leave like the entire property like bug free, like mosquito free, like roach free.
Can I buy some of these wasps?
Right.
Like, are they for sale?
Disney is crazy because what do you mean you're creating jobs for an alligator gatherer and a wasp breeder?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's insane. But like the fact that truly like my entire trip there I didn't get one single mosquito bite. And yeah, it's winter.
And Florida's crazy.
In Florida, like it's
Yeah.
unnatural, like it's crazy.
Was it humid still over there?
It wasn't too bad.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. But it was really cold. It was really, really cold.
It's been cold here too.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
You eat any alligator jerky?
I didn't. I have had fried alligator before at the Georgia Renaissance Festival.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was fine. It was like kind of like chicken and fish combined, like texturally. It didn't really have like that fishy, like salt water taste.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
And it was like breaded and fried, so it was fine.
Okay.
But yeah. So, anyways, Disney. It was awesome. Disney World is way better than Disneyland, by the way.
I figured.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Disneyland in so long. I couldn't tell you.
It doesn't feel as magical the older you get at Disneyland. I can't obviously speak for Disney World, but
I could go on and on about it, but we have other things to talk about. So that was my shit and tea. Next.
well, speaking of me, I have
Speaking of me.
a little. It's not a confession. I'm coming out.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago, it was a weekend, and I said to Ethan, I was like, I really, really, really fucking want a steak right now. And for the listeners, I have not
No way.
eaten red meat in like 6 years, barring an incident that happened 5 years ago where I threw up after eating a bunch of meat, and no one else threw up after eating the meat, so I knew it was me.
Are you coming out as pregnant?
No. And so I made him make me a steak, and I have been eating red meat a little bit since, and it has not been bothering me.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So I also like part of it was like I keep seeing those fucking steak TikToks,
Yes.
and I'm like, my mouth is watering looking at this butter.
Yeah. There's something about just like a beautiful buttery steak that just does it. Like a beautiful filet. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Don't get me started.
But the second thing is I'm so tired of like having restrictions in my life. Like I'm already like at a point where I can't have like certain dairy products out in public because it's just not good for the environment, you know? But I'm like, I'm so tired of like being the only person who's like, no, I don't eat red meat.
Yeah.
And then it like changes the whole fucking course of the day, and I'm so over it.
It's also tougher because Ethan also has dietary restrictions that need
Exactly.
to be followed.
Yeah. And like my mom's been like fucking being like, because I also did eat meat like the tiniest bit last year on my brother's birthday because my mom ended up in the hospital and she was supposed to cook my piece of chicken. And my brother offered to do it, and I was like, no, I'll just have a little bit of meat because I didn't want anyone else touching my chicken. I didn't trust anyone else.
That's fair. Chicken is finicky that way.
Yeah, but I am now I'm not going to do it all the time. It's not something I reach for, but
Yeah.
a filet mignon do go crazy.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my favorite cut of meat.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite cut of steak is probably a ribeye. Because
Ooh.
Jacob my boyfriend has been like experimenting with cooking steaks the past like 3 months.
Ooh.
It's like his hyperfixation.
Mhm.
And so we've tried like different cuts of steak, and I think ribeye right now is my favorite.
Yeah.
But we haven't tried New York strip. It's always sold out.
We
So-
just had some and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They usually have one at Trader Joe's.
Okay.
We have a wild fork near us now,
What's
which
that?
is a meat grocery store.
What?
It's actually fucking really cool.
Is it really expensive?
No, I ordered delivery because we didn't want to leave the house, but I got free delivery for like the first time.
Mm.
But it's great prices. I mean, obviously, like you're still gonna pay like $25 for like 2 filet mignons,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
that's it. It is what it is. But they
Yeah.
do sales on meat, which is not a huge thing in regular grocery stores.
That's
yeah,
really
since they're buying
exciting.
wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I love how lean a filet mignon is. I think that's usually why I like it. I don't really like the texture of fat in my food. Like I'm very picky with like chicken thighs because sometimes it's too fatty.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I fucking love a tri-tip.
I love a tri-tip. My dad makes the best tri-tip.
My
So
mom's now
good.
making it for Christmas because
Yay.
Hell yeah.
that's what I forgot to say. We're at Thanksgiving, we're hanging out, we're chilling. My dog's fucking barking. No one's paying attention to him. So I'm like, I'm gonna take him out to pee. He clearly has to go to the bathroom. Everyone's ignoring him. Go outside, take him to the bathroom. I come back in. Everyone at the dinner table is staring at me, like including Ethan. Everyone's just like looking at me, and I'm like, what? And they're like, do you have something to tell us? And I was like, no. And they're like, are you okay? You took the dog out, like, because I don't often take the dog out because I'm like, I don't live here anymore. It's not my dog.
Yeah.
But I was like looking around. I'm looking at Ethan, and they're like, we heard you eat red meat now. And I'm looking at Ethan, and I was like, that was private. I was like, is anything sacred in this fucking relationship now?
Also, just like such a weird way for them to confront you about that.
Well, I guess while I was outside, they were like talking. They're like telling Ethan, like, oh my God, like Haley's just taking the dog out without anyone asking her to do it. Is she okay? Like, you know, is something going on? Like asking if I'm pregnant, I think, even
Oh my
though
God.
I was on my 4th glass of wine before dinner. Like,
She
get
said,
real.
"Fuck this, baby."
No, for real. Like, they're like, I'm like, what did you think of me, mom? But yeah, he fucking outed me. And he was like, well, they were asking what was wrong. And I'm like, just say nothing. This is just like,
Wait, I'm confused. What does eating red meat have to do with you taking the dog out?
they were just like, oh, she's acting different. Ethan's like, oh, maybe she has more energy now that she's eating red meat. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
this is the second. Other people don't know the first secret that he literally told someone the day after I said, don't tell anyone on this earth. And he told someone the next day. Obviously it's our secret that we're sharing, but like this was my secret. And like, it had been a week. It was one steak.
Yeah. He's probably excited because he gets to make you steaks now.
Yeah, he is. I
Yeah.
got him a cast iron pan on Black Friday.
Now him and Jacob can bond and talk steaks.
Mhm.
That would be
That's
Yeah.
so
fun.
cute.
And
Little
now we
steak
can
off.
have red meat at friend events.
Yay.
Have you had birria yet?
I have not. I was,
Work your way up to it for sure. Yeah.
That's exciting.
yeah, so I'm a red meat eater kind of now.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I hope
Hell
it
yeah.
stays safe. For
I
you.
have a feeling that it's just like maybe just like what is the right word? How do you say that?
Periodically.
Lesser quality of meat
Mm.
that like does it to me, because obviously I've
Oh,
only
got
been
it.
having like steak. Like I haven't had like ground beef.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
how that would pan out, but like
You need like the 96 for like super
Yeah.
lean.
I'm definitely not ever gonna eat pork again. I have no desire. I don't miss bacon that bad, and I'm traumatized by a documentary I saw about pigs. So
Yeah.
That's fair. I do feel bad about eating pork because I know how smart pigs are, but I do really love al pastor.
For me, I feel more guilty about eating cows than I do pigs, and it's truly just based on cows are cute. to
yeah,
me.
cows are really cute.
And pigs are like what deters me from eating pigs sometimes is like the thought of like how scary they look. They're huge.
They're huge.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just so ugly. Except for when they're little, of course they're cute, but like I don't know, they're just really like kind of like uncanny to
Yeah.
me.
Wouldn't it be better to eat an animal that's ugly then, since you feel bad about eating cows since they're cute?
I guess, but they're almost too human like.
I think my view of the cow is like, this sounds so horrible and it makes me actually really sad, but they truly do use almost every part of the cow.
Yeah.
You know, and like the pig is like not so much. Like obviously I know they use like most of like the insides or whatever, but like it's not like cows where you can like use their skin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I think I would feel best. We had a car service driver, and he was Muslim, and he was telling us about how he eats halal. And I feel like, I mean, I eat meat regardless of whether or not it's halal, but I feel like it's like a very ethical way to go about it.
Yeah, I really
Mhm.
like that like practice that they have. I love when religion respects animals
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like we should, because we be dead without them.
Yeah,
Dead ass.
I agree. And there's a lot of meats that I won't eat. Like I'm not gonna eat veal. I think that veal is really fucked up.
Isn't that baby something?
Baby cow.
Oh.
So cows when they're small. Something about it being more tender. But I feel like that's just like a really creepy way of viewing it. I don't know.
I thought it was sheep.
No, I think sheep is
Lamb.
lamb. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I know that there's also like in the South or like in like Pennsylvania, Midwest, whatever the fuck,
Mhm.
a lot of people eat deer, which makes
Yeah.
me kind of sad.
Venison, is that what it is?
Venison,
Yeah,
yeah.
venison. There's just a lot of deer, I think.
Mhm.
Which,
There are a lot of deer,
Yeah.
and like they say that they do it for like population control, but I'm like, if the deer are here naturally, is it really them that are population like that need to be controlled
yeah.
population wise, or is it us?
It's a little bit entitled to be like, there's too many deer in the forest.
Right. They're native here. Like, what do you mean? I don't know.
That's funny.
So,
That's cool though.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I have any other like shit and tea. I just have like other things that have happened.
No,
thought
you
you
said
said-
that you had something.
Oh,
did.
Okay, so we can start at Friendsgiving. I think you were there for this. And let me preface with number one, I know that this person was joking and I know that they weren't trying to be mean by doing it.
Mhm.
But this was right after we recorded the podcast episode with Donovan where I talked about how I was like having that feeling of like being in middle school, not wanting to talk to anybody.
Mhm.
So it was already like a little sensitive and I'm already drinking. I didn't react, whatever. Anyways, so we're just hanging out and like I don't remember what someone said something and I like kind of just said to Ethan and Vivi who were right next to me, I was like, I want to go camping again. And then I'm gonna say his name, maybe I'll bleep it. Is on the other side of Vivi, and he goes, "Oh my god, I forgot you even went camping with us." And Vivi went the fuck off on him.
Really?
Like she was like,
I
"What
don't-
the fuck made you say that? Like, what is your problem? Like, no one asked you to say that."
Didn't you write down what I said? I don't even remember what I said.
I was like crying laughing because like it like kind of upset me, but like I wasn't gonna like say anything about it.
I remember just saying, don't say that again.
Yeah.
I just wrote Vivi fighting after being mean to me. And then I did say that Vivi said this at Friendsgiving. She said, I should have brought Adderall first to offset the carbs. And I thought that was the funniest thing I've
That
heard
is
all
really
night.
funny. That's
It was a
really
lot of
funny.
food.
But yeah, so that was my little Thanksgiving story because I actually, the next day, I was trying to tell Ethan what happened because he wasn't paying attention, obviously.
Was he not paying attention?
No.
Or was he just drunk? Because he high-fived me after that. Does he not remember that
He must have been really
interaction?
drunk because I had to text Vivi and be like, what did he say to me again? Because I just remember Vivi getting upset and me thinking it was hilarious. That Vivi was like getting upset for me because I was like, fuck yeah.
Because how mean? Why
was
would you
mean.
say that to somebody?
It's really funny. I noticed that you were being kind of grouchy with him, and I was confused. I was like, I wonder why she's being like weird with him. But then I was like, I just don't think that she likes him.
No,
But-
I like him.
Okay, I couldn't tell.
He's fine.
I think that he's funny. I think he's just a little bit too dry where sometimes it doesn't land well.
He has a very mean sense of humor. Like it is just
yeah, which is only applicable, I think, to like people that are really close to you or people who you have that rapport with. Like if you both dish it and give it and you
Mhm.
have that established relationship, sure, whatever.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
you didn't, clearly.
It's
I
like
agree.
it's like middle school bully humor where you're kind of like, okay, well, like that kind of cut.
It's like the kind of humor. It's like, do you hate me or are you flirting with me?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's how I always felt with that one. So
He just says things and so I say them back. Like he has no filter.
He needs to learn time and place
Yes.
because the table at Friendsgiving was not the time and place to make a joke about forgetting me.
yeah, that's mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the place to be thankful for your friends
I'm
and
like,
those
this is-
around you.
This is Friendsgiving. Okay, I'm drunk already.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I'm
No,
glad.
it was more just funny because like I wish I had wrote down exactly what Vivi said because
Me
like
too.
it was like a full 2 minutes of her just being like, "What the fuck?"
Was it that long?
it was like a good amount of time because I was like dying laughing and like you were still going. And I was like, this is incredible.
Dude,
No one's ever stood up for me like this. That's at you, Ethan.
Ethan and I were, oh my god. Ethan must have been so drunk because he and I were dying laughing over something that Cassie said. And then I texted him the next day, and then he was like, "What are you talking about?" We were talking about podcasts, and then I don't even remember how this came to be. I don't even know if you were there.
She went Terry
She
Crews.
just took a sip of her drink, and she was like, Terry Crews. And we were just like,
it was like 5 minutes after the podcast conversation kind of ended. Like that's what it was.
I remember it was Kenzie talking about her dad doing a podcast with Terry Crews.
oh yeah.
And then I think she was pretty drunk, so I think she was like registering it. But I feel like with anything that Cassie says, I just die of laughter. She's so funny.
God, I love her. She's so funny. She's like such a Pisces through and through because she's just like in her own head and then comes back down to earth when she feels like it. Everything was really good at Friendsgiving.
Everything was fire. The turkey went crazy.
Dude,
that was
to Tony.
Like the best turkey of my entire life.
Me too.
I was 2 for 2 on turkeys this year. I enjoyed both, which is like shocking.
I'm really sad I missed out on your Thanksgiving. I was going to say Friendsgiving.
It was very chill. It was 8 of us, 9 of us. No, 7 of us.
Okay. Not bad.
Big crowd. Big turnout this year. I was the first year that my grandma didn't try to get us to invite my uncle, which was really nice. So it was like the first fully drama-free Thanksgiving I've had in probably like 5 years.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
How was yours?
It was good. There was a lot of people there. But they were like, "Oh, it starts at 6. Get here at 6." And I was like, "Okay, I'll leave at like 5:20 then." Like, "Are you sure you'll be there at 6?" Just wondering. They were like, "Yeah, we'll get there at 6." They got there at 7. Everyone got there at 7. It was me hanging out with my grandma and one of my other cousins, and it was just like, I'm starving, and I'm listening to the sizzle. They're still cooking. My dish is just sitting on the fucking counter.
I've started doing this thing. Well, I've actually always done this. Instead of going directly to the event, I make my parents drive me. You're going to find room in your car. Or, to be honest, we're just going to drive from your house.
Yeah.
I'm not getting caught there without you.
The only reason why I didn't do that this time was just because my parents' house is a little bit farther, and I was already feeling a little bit grumpy about the drive, like driving on the holiday. So I was like, whatever, it's closer. I'll just drive straight to my grandma's.
Yeah. It was funny because me and Ethan, I was going to Thanksgiving with 2 bottles of wine. I know my parents had 2 bottles of wine. I knew my grandma was going to bring 2 bottles of wine, you know. So I texted my little family group chat and I was like, so who's picking me and Ethan up? And then my wonderful brother's wife went, oh, I thought we were.
Aw.
Or I said, who's going to offer to pick me and Ethan up? And she was like, oh, I already thought we were picking you guys up. Like, I thought we were just picking everybody up. And I was like, well, now you are, but I love you. Thanks.
Yeah,
and they dropped us off at home.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Free Uber.
Good.
I will say this on the podcast. Like, people did text me like screenshots of their top podcasts for their Spotify Wrapped, and a couple of people had us in their top 5, and that was really sweet.
We had,
Love
I
you
think,
guys.
70 people. It wasn't part of like the infographic, but there was something like 70 people where we were their top 5 in their top 5.
It's very sweetie.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, that's actually really surprising to me because I forget people actually listen. Whether you hate listening or not, thanks.
Yeah. So that was Thanksgiving.
Yay.
Incredible. If you're hate listening, thank you. Love you.
Kiss my ass on your way out.
So true.
I had so many water bottles under my bed, like half drinking water bottles.
A fresh water bottle hates to see me coming.
I can't remember the last time I drank from a water bottle. I am a loyal Owala user.
Me and Ethan have fancy water times where we really want like a fancy gas station water, like alkaline pH balance.
That's
sport
really cute.
cap, and we like go and walk and get fancy water.
Yeah.
Cutie.
I don't know why, but just the Brita tastes better to me than like a Smart Water.
Your guys' Brita tastes good. Ours is awful. I don't know what it is.
My parents' fridge tap because it's filtered, goes crazy. Every
Really?
time I go over there, I'll dump out my water.
Yeah. Interesting. Our second Disney resort, the shower water smelled like sulfur, like it smelled like rotten egg. But it was weird because it was only like, I don't know, it's in the same Disney property as our first resort, where the water was perfectly fine, and the tap water actually tasted pretty good. So it was very strange.
Did you complain?
I mean, what are they gonna do? It's their tap water.
I don't know, but that worries me because of that whole Elisa Lamb thing.
I thought about that while I was showering.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. What if I'm showering in dead person water? I
Yeah.
think it's fine. No, because all the water at the restaurants at Magic Kingdom, if it was tap water, it tasted strange too.
They might just have a weird filter.
Maybe it's swamp water.
It's that Florida water, man.
Or they just didn't change the filter yet and it needed to be filtered more efficiently.
Where
Maybe.
does Florida tap water come from?
Couldn't tell you.
Where does
The
our tap water
Everglades.
come from?
Ours comes from the mountain, I think. Mountain drip off.
I have big questions about the water system right now, but I'll keep them in the back. Because now I'm very confused about how
When
the
did
water
Jacob know
system
that?
works.
No.
Didn't he do that or no? Or did he get interviewed for it?
I don't know.
I think we were
Maybe
talking
he
about
would.
water for a while when Donovan was here because he brought his fancy waters and they were talking about water.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do think that Floridians, most of the time, they get their fresh water from the Everglades. I've been on an Everglade TikTok kick because
Where
I like seeing alligators and manatees.
I love
where
manatees.
are the Everglades?
South Florida.
What kind of environment I'm picturing?
Swamp.
Snow. Oh, okay.
Swamp.
So swamp. Wait. I'll look it up.
Also, in South Florida, in the Everglades, there are both alligators and crocodiles.
Do they not
which is
usually cohabitate?
No.
Interesting. I
Do we
didn't
know what
that.
the difference is?
Crocodiles are way bigger.
I think crocodiles are usually more on land, or is that opposite?
Crocodiles are usually more in like saltwater areas, and
Okay.
alligators are more likely in freshwater areas. And crocodiles are bigger, and apparently the ones in South Florida can be man-eating.
Oh,
So that's cool.
The Everglades are very pretty. I looked them up.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Fun facts. I've been learning a lot about Florida this week.
that's awesome. I used to like be obsessed with manatees. They were my favorite animal in the 4th grade. I did like a diorama presentation on them. But it made me really sad that a lot of them died just because they're so like friendly and they like are curious about the boats.
Yeah, they don't have a mean bone in their body.
They have no survival instincts. So
Yeah.
like they would go towards boats and it's like there's a motor.
They're dummies.
Yeah.
I saw some in real life at an
Were they cute?
aquarium. They're so cute. They're
Mm.
huge.
Yeah,
Like, and they're
there's some big ones.
plump. They're so fat. And I love them. They're so cute. And one of them was just like barrel rolling,
Oh,
just spinning.
oh, to
I
be a
thought it was
manatee
so sweet.
in an enclosure.
If I had known that you loved them, I would have taken pictures for you.
I would have loved to see those. I loved manatees. And they're just so like friendly, but you can't touch them because they're endangered.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're not allowed to even feed them.
Moment of silence for giraffes entering the endangered species list.
Are they?
Yep.
Sad.
That's really sad. Is it because of big game hunting?
It was just verified basically like last week before, something like that.
Yeah.
I think people hunt them for their pelt, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up that big game hunting is like, I don't think it's legal, but people still do it obviously because there's so much money to be made in it. But
like, I thought it was like a worldwide crime, like a NATO crime.
Yeah.
is it not?
I don't know.
Can we?
We just talk out of our ass here.
Yeah, can we fact check this? If it's not, it should be.
While we're fact checking that, I have a question for the vegans. So I know that you guys don't consume honey, because a lot of bees get killed in the process, and it's inherently a animal byproduct or whatever.
Yeah.
But doesn't the breeding of honey bees keep honey bees alive? I don't know. I know that they're endangered, but like, don't we need to keep whatever? You know what I'm saying?
This is a big argument between vegans because some vegans do eat honey, and
Yeah.
it's purely because of the sense of like, it's whether or not they view the honey collecting as ethical, because it's the same reason they don't drink milk because of big dairy. But I don't think that honey works like that. I think it's usually like private beekeepers. I don't think anyone has like fucking a million bajillion
Big honey.
beehives. Big honey.
I also think like don't honeybees like work naturally? Like don't they just do that naturally and like people began to like breed them because just to sort of make more of them on like a bigger scale. I thought they just normally do that and like their job like they just inherently have a job and there's a queen bee and there's worker bees. I thought that's just how it worked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are no international protections for endangered species. Well, for giraffes specifically.
Well, why the hell not?
Giraffes can be legally hunted in Namibia. No.
Nambia?
There's an I
Nambia?
between the M and the B, but I'm gonna go Nambia.
Oh, Nambia?
I think it's Nambia. I think it's whatever. South Africa and Zimbabwe. So unfortunately,
that makes me very sad. I think humanity is
actually I think when they enter the endangered is when the Humane Society International will protect them.
Yeah. It just angers me because it's like, okay, these people always take pictures with their big game like wins. I don't know what they would refer to them as,
Trophies.
but it's like
Jimmy John.
the trophies.
Jimmy John did it.
He did.
They call it their Jimmy John.
The man, the myth, the legend, Jimmy John is a poacher.
Oh.
And they always take pictures with them, but it's like you only killed that fucking like giant elephant with a gun. You wouldn't have been able to kill it if you didn't have that thing. And it's just like these creatures are in their own habitat. They shouldn't have to fear human interference.
Also, like, especially like as an American or like someone who's not native to like the land that animal is from, like I feel like that's especially more fucked up. Like it would be something else if if a native of that land where that animal is from like hunted those animals, maybe
for like useful purposes, like like eating,
cultural, whatever the fuck. But like
it feels like a form of colonialism. I'm sure there's some sort of like essay out there that I could read on that. I can't exactly verbalize it myself, but it feels very problematic for someone to fly to a different country, kill a bunch of native animals, and then sell them for their parts.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Exploitative.
Yeah. Do you guys think evolution will go so far that everything becomes so similar? Because all the endangered species tend to be like the different looking animals. Like, is it just going to get so far as to like where everyone starts looking the same, all the animals start looking the same?
Maybe.
I'm scared. I don't even know if we'll make it that far with the climate wars.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if we'll be alive for long enough.
God willing.
That's exactly what happened to dinosaurs, you guys.
Dinosaurs roamed for a really, really long time.
Apparently chickens are dinosaurs. Someone told me that.
They are. It's speculated that dinosaurs had feathers and they were just like big chicken looking things versus the reptilian like scaly animals that we're thinking of when we think of dinosaurs, because there's no evidence or like anything left over from their exterior. We just have their bones, but like their feet and their arms and stuff are reminiscent of like chickens and birds.
Yeah, and I think they've found evidence of feathers too.
Yeah, and for like a pterodactyl where they're like flying, I feel like that makes the most sense for them to be feathered like a bird than just like some scaly reptile looking thing.
I feel like they should definitely be feathered if they're flying.
What is this?
What?
Oh.
We saw that when we were driving here. It was really pretty.
So there's like a light Christmas thing going on.
Oh yeah, I was pissed that it's $20 to get in.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have to buy food.
Yeah, we were just talking about this on the way here. For audio listeners, we saw like a really big like Christmas what do you even call it?
Light carnival.
Yeah, there was like a light show like for Christmas where you just like walk around and see all the pretty lights, and we were driving by it and it was really pretty. But we were saying we should just go to those like rich neighborhoods and like go for free where they like sell hot chocolate and stuff.
Cute.
I think that would be sweet.
Oh, to be one of those old ladies that sells hot chocolate in a rich neighborhood that has Christmas lights.
I would make that my personality. That would be like the holiday. I look forward to it every year. I get it. I do.
I would have like a full stand made, like decorated. It would come out every year. It'd be bougie as fuck. I'd be out there every night.
Did you guys ever have a stand growing up, like a lemonade stand or something?
My parents were very pessimistic, and they were like, "Haley, you're never gonna make any money. You're not gonna get any customers."
Aw.
They were right.
Yeah.
That's sad though. Still,
We lived in a cul-de-sac. Like, it wasn't feasible. It didn't make sense.
yeah.
Right. My parents said you have to have a permit to do that, and I said, "What the fuck is a permit?"
How old were you?
I don't know, like 9. I didn't say what the fuck, but I said, "What is a permit?" And
Yeah.
they were just, you know,
You say that to me like I know what that
right?
means.
Yeah.
That's just
That's
the
so
parent
funny.
answer of being like, I don't want to have to help you with this right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And I
yeah.
think you do. You do need a permit, actually.
You
You
do.
do.
They can fine you or like shut you down if they really want to. They can and they have. But shutting down a 9-year-old girl's lemonade stand would be fucking
It
crazy.
would be so sad.
That would be really fucked up.
Yeah. There's a Mexican restaurant that's like down the street from here, and there was a lady that had the tamale stand,
Ooh,
like
yum.
kind of in the same parking lot, but like way further away. But the owner of that Mexican restaurant, basically like, I don't know if he like verbally assaulted her,
Oh my god.
and then like tried to report her because her business was like, he claimed to be interfering with his business,
Mm.
and then they got his business canceled on TikTok
Hell
for
yeah.
a while. But I still see them popping off. Like, they are still successful.
Yeah.
And now there are several food tents around that area. So
Good.
That's incredible.
Fuck yeah.
yeah, so I'm boycotting that restaurant.
Mhm.
They did have really good food.
Is it
The
the one we
last time I
went
went
on?
there.
Is it the one we've gone to?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
I've been there one time, and you know who I went there with?
Oh. There's so much lore to drop on that one person.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode.
After everything we're cutting in this episode,
We're
it's going to be
definitely-
narrowed down so slim.
You had tea.
Oh, you did.
I did
My
have tea.
burps are tasting like the one dill pickle chip I had.
Is it yummy?
Well, I'm drinking peppermint hot chocolate,
Oh, so no.
they're not mixing well. Do you want
I'm
some?
intrigued by your mug.
Oh, I love it. It's spill free. If you pop
Hell yeah.
that, it's now closed. You can turn it upside down. I swear to God. I swear to
I'm
God.
scared.
Wow.
The fact that you did it over the floor and not like on the couch is fucking crazy.
I needed reassurance.
I feel like dropping it on the floor where the cables are is crazy. Not that it would spill because it's spill free, but like
You said fuck the cables.
It's a little watery.
Yeah, I don't like my hot chocolate made with milk. I'm sorry.
I want one of these.
you don't.
Okay,
Tell Jacob.
I'll let him know. I'll send him a link.
Thanks.
No, I don't like my hot chocolate with milk, but
That's
that's
crazy.
mainly like a I just want the chocolate flavor.
Mhm.
I'm not
Mm.
really concerned about it being creamy.
I love
still
a
would have
creamy
done
hot
like 2
chocolate.
packets for that amount of water.
This was my first. It's the Trader Joe's one, so it's like spoons.
I love the Trader Joe's peppermint
Yeah,
hot chocolate,
But I
that shit is
definitely
so
would
good.
put more powder in next time.
Yeah.
Mhm. I wish that they would bring the
That's a cool
salted
mug.
caramel hot cocoa back. That shit was so fire.
Yes.
I remember you making that.
It was so good.
I bet we can make our own.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure we could. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Okay, spill your tea, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a lot of tea. I can't say all of it, I don't think. And I'm blocking these people from the podcast Instagram account just so they don't see it. Where to begin? So, to preface, the people that I'm talking about are not people that you guys have met. So, they're people that I was friends with and me and Ivana were friends with. But we are no longer friends with these people. And so, also, shout out to Ivana, just real quick, because I know that she listens. We're her number 2 podcast to listen to.
Thank you.
And also, she took my cat to the vet when I had a presentation and a test, and I couldn't. And I was like
Wow.
having a lot of anxiety. Because Chai is so little that when she gets sick, I feel like so much anxiety. I get a lot of anxiety about her health and like her well-being. And I always think for some reason that she's gonna die whenever she's sick. It's not likely. She's young and she's healthy, but I just have a lot of anxiety about her health. And thankfully, Ivana took her to the vet for me and was very sweet about it. And offered. I didn't ask. Like, she offered, drove out from Costa Mesa, didn't have to. Drove from Long Beach to Cyprus, didn't have to.
What
Drove
a
back.
sweet friend.
It was very sweet. But yeah, so we have like a group of friends that we hang out with sometimes, but it's not like, it's one of those friend groups where like you can have like deep personal conversations, but you don't always hang out with those people one-on-one super often. But like for the most part, you're all cool, you're all chill. Like, there's never any issues. I've never had beef with these people. I've never thought that they would do me wrong in any way, shape, or form. So this summer I feel like I had a very girly pop summer. Like I was hanging out with a lot of friends. Like going on picnics, going out at night, like going to bars, going to restaurants, going to fucking like views and stuff, just hanging out, just vibes. Um, and I've gotten pretty like intimate with these people, like emotionally. Like we've talked about very deep conversations. They know a lot about me. And I would share some of the stuff that I was up to this summer, which, by the way, I would like to preface, I do a lot of big talking. I didn't actually like do anything too crazy this summer. Not that I have to like, not that it fucking matters. Not that anyone should be worried about who I am or not sleeping with.
Yeah.
If a bitch slut shames, they have to go through us.
Bitches were slut shaming. Let me tell you. Okay. Isn't that fucking crazy? At this big ass age, they're older than me too. So I'm just like, how are you acting this way as an adult? Okay, let me start. But
my God.
these are people who like know a lot about me personally, in the sense that I feel like I felt very comfortable with them enough to share things with them, and we've all gone out. So I was never like, oh, like these people are not safe, these people are not okay. But I did bring one of my friends around them that you have met. Her name is Hope. She's so slay. She's so awesome. Mm-hmm. She'd like seen hair. Like she's into hardcore. We hang out a lot. One of my best friends ever. And so I introduced Hope to this person, and when they first met, she was like, I don't really know how I feel about them. Like, I just feel like they're always talking shit about people. And in the instances that they were talking shit about people, I thought that they were kind of justified because there was always like a conflict going on.
Okay.
And so I was never like, oh, like I think it's just like a one-off, or like maybe there's been some drama, but I don't think that like inherently they do a lot of shit talking. So it was never a red flag. But I was thinking about this on the drive to work today, where I was just like, I've always just sort of had a hard time figuring out when people are bad.
I feel that.
Like, I feel like there's the kind of neurodivergency where people are like really in tune and being like, I don't fuck with that person, or the person that's really blind to it. And I feel like I've always been really blind to it. When I would hang out with the person that we talked about before, like the old friend that I had, even when we were younger growing up, like I would just be super oblivious, and they would like be mad dogging people, and I would be like, what is going on? And they would be like, this person is like looking at you funny, and I would just be like, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't tell you. So I've just always had like not the best read of people. I feel like I can, and sometimes it's very accurate, but sometimes I just can't catch it. Okay. I don't know. So I didn't catch it, and this person warned me, and I was just like, well, I think maybe it was just like a bad first impression. No. And we had hung out a few times, and it was chill, but they've like, it sucks because they've seen me at some of my worst moments, and it's just like, ugh, I feel so embarrassed now, which I shouldn't. And I feel embarrassed that I like let these people know me so deeply. Because if I would have known better, I wouldn't have gotten as deep with them. But they were always very genuine when we would have conversations. They weren't ever like, you know, those friends who are kind of bitchy to you where you're just like, do you even like me?
Yeah.
It was never like that. So I just feel like super surprised by everything. But yeah, this group of people is very like, they're pretty close and they hang out a lot. And I will hang out with one person in particular more than others. Mm-hmm. There's one person that I've never really like clicked with, and it was never beef. It was never like, oh, I don't like her. It was just like we always had surface level conversations one-on-one.
Yeah.
But in a group we could all hang out. But it was also sort of the thing where it would be like I would talk about things that are like political or deep or like really, really like, I don't know, a little bit more than surface level in a group setting, and they just never interjected or had anything to say. So I just never like went out of my way to talk to them because there's not really much to say there.
Yeah.
No beef on my end. I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
You're being too nice. These people are talking shit about you.
Yeah, and sharing things that they were saying.
Yeah, so talk shit about them back.
One of them, out of the blue, just like stopped talking to me, and
I feel like I remember you telling us about.
Yeah, so this was after my birthday party, and one of them just stopped talking to me, and I had asked them, and I was like, "Hey, are we cool? Like, what's wrong?" And they were just like, "No, we're fine." And it's one of those people where like they won't say anything, but they're older than me, so I'm just like, you should have the emotional intelligence to speak up if something's wrong. If I ask you and you say nothing's wrong, cool, nothing's wrong. Then I'm not gonna go out of my way. I'm your like surface level friend. I'm not your partner. I'm not your like bestie. I'm not gonna pry.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, nothing's wrong. But to this day, it's been like a month. They won't look at me. They won't talk to me. And I have to interact with this person pretty often. So it was just
Wait,
something
they
where
went to your birthday?
yeah. But yeah, so I found out this person was like telling people things and I didn't.
Like about your sex life specifically?
Well, I found out one that there was like there's like different people, so I'm trying to figure out where to start. So the one person that I hung out with the most in particular, but one person in particular I was like pretty good friends with. And so we got super deep, super close, but I realized that like after I would share something and we would talk about it and we'd have a good conversation about it, there was never like reciprocation. So after like I would hang out with them, I would notice like I don't think they shared anything about themselves. Like I don't think they talked about themselves at all.
Fishy.
Yeah, and
Icky.
it was only a few instances where we hung out, but it was like I was with one of my best friends and this person, so like obviously I'm going to get kind of deep, and they had a pretty close relationship for a while. So I was like, this person that I trusts this person. So like I think this is a safe space. And we would have like conversations about our life going on at the time. And we would be like, this isn't leaving this picnic, this isn't leaving the Chili's, this isn't leaving the car. Like it
Yeah.
would be like we have a mutual understanding, or so I thought, that this would not be shared with other people. And I share embarrassing things with my friends because I'm not embarrassed about my life. I think that things that happen to me are really funny. I think that if like something embarrassing happens, I'm going to share it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to post about it. Obviously, I'm not going to share it with the whole world. But if I feel like I'm in a safe space, I'm going to tell you about the guy that ghosted me. I'm going to tell you about the conversation that I had. And so I found out from somebody else that Ivana had talked to that they were telling all of me and hers business to them. And I was just like, wait, first of all, hold up. First of all, a man knows my business. Why? I've never had beef with any of these people, so I'm really surprised by like the outcome of all of this. But yeah, so this person that I thought that I trusted was like telling them about my ex-boyfriend. And I'd be like, you've never even met him. Like, why are you telling them about things that I'm doing and like what's going on in my life? I don't even tell the internet that. I know episode 2, but
By the way, that's our most popular episode according to Spotify Wrapped.
it's the most interesting one. Well, it's the one where there's the most tea, I think. But but yeah, like a lot has happened since then. We're on good terms now. Like we've hung out. Like there's no beef there. So but there's a lot of stuff that I haven't talked about on the podcast that I don't think that I will, because I do think that some stuff is private and to be shared with friends and friends only. I'm not going to share it with the internet. So it's like, how is this person that has never met? It would be like secondhand, the friend of the friend telling like this man information about me, and it's like, how do you know, bitch? Like you don't.
Yeah.
And one thing that sucks too is that like this person is one of those people that's like, oh, girlhood, I'm such a girl's girl, like I'm a misandrist, like I hate men. And it's like, you're telling a man my business, bitch.
Yeah.
Get a fucking grip.
Weird.
And
No, that's called you and Ivana are hotter than all of them, and they decided that they would rather try to get a man's attention by dissing you guys.
yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
one of them who has been throwing themselves on him apparently. So it's but one of the verbs that the man that was told Ivana was that we're sloppy and that we're messy. Bitch, what a word to use coming from that man.
Yeah.
What a word to use. I know your lore, bitch. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. But what a fucking word to use to describe me.
That's bold.
Like,
Coming from you.
first of all, nothing you've ever done is messy. I could pull out like a TV show that has messier characters than you. Like, what?
And also, like, I'm messy because I tell my friends personal, embarrassing, like, things about myself. I'm not sharing these things on the internet. Maybe you think that you know me because I have a podcast where I sometimes talk about my life and I sometimes choose to share things or, like, make them hyperbolic or make a joke out of them. You don't know me, bitch.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Going on dates, not messy.
You're fully single. You've been fully single for
A year.
a long time now.
Yeah.
And it really is, it just sounds like bottom line, you're hotter than them and they're jealous and they're trying to embarrass you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's not working because, like
you don't
said,
care
like,
about this man's attention anyways.
No. And one thing that I was thinking of too is just like, when she was telling me like the depth of like conversations, like multiple conversations that would be had about the two of us, I was just like, we are really living rent free in these people's heads, and I couldn't even tell you. And it's crazy because like this person would be so sweet to me. They would get me a coffee, they would like get me lunch, and I would never assume this from them. So it's like
Fucking whore.
rat bastard. Yeah, but it just like really threw me for a loop because it's like I was this person, like clearly this is what was happening. This person was just like hanging out with us to get a scoop and share with other people.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy to me personally. I don't care how much I dislike somebody, I wouldn't want to hang out with them for hours
What was this
just
person's
to
sign?
relay. Leo.
Ah!
Huh? Leo? Checks out.
Leo, bitch.
Leaving that in.
Yeah. No, I think that deserves to be left in. A Leo.
course.
Only one Leo that I like in this world, and it's Hope, and it's because her other signs offset that. You have to
Okay.
have other like placements offset your main sign if your main sign sucks ass, in my opinion. No, she rocks. She's so sweet. Hope, shout out to you. She did a tarot reading on the situation because I was like feeling really embarrassed. I was crying on the phone, not because I was sad. I was just like really embarrassed. And she pulled the tarot reading, and she did one for one person in particular, and one of the cards, I can't remember what it was because it was over the phone, and she was just telling me, and it was like manipulative, backstabbing, like cunning, like sneaky, deceitful. And then she pulled one on another person that I would have never suspected was saying shit about me either. There's a different man that is gossiping about me. And I had shared some things with him because he was around when I was going through my breakup, and he would ask me questions about it. And so I would be like, oh, like, you know, like, here's how I'm doing, like, or I'm going to go on a date tonight, actually. So I would just like share really small things with this person. And then he ended up going out with the other man in question, one of the other men, and 3 other people. And he was telling them about how silly me and Ivana are for sharing information with him.
So, first of all, it's so valid to feel embarrassed, but these people should feel embarrassed because their lives are so fucking boring that they have nothing else to talk about than you and Ivana's lives.
They're
So
obsessed
true.
with you.
They're
So
so
obsessed.
obsessed.
I don't know why I'm crying.
It's flattering, honestly.
No, it's I would 100% also cry with the situation. It's not a good feeling knowing that you thought you were friends with somebody and then they turned around and were just an asshole to you for no like apparent reason.
Yeah.
Mind you, all these people are fucking older than me. Let's keep that in mind. I'm 25. My frontal lobe has developed. Theirs has. So I was talking about this with Ivana where she was like, their frontal lobe should be cooked. And I was like, bitch, it is. Isn't that horrible?
It's
And that's-
overcooked.
That's
It was-
the worst that it gets, or that's as good as it gets.
That's what I was saying. I was
really-
like, it was worse before this. Isn't
Yeah.
that fucking crazy?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Their frontal lobe is burnt, needs to be thrown out and start over.
Yeah, it's got freezer burn. Like,
embarrassing for them, really.
it is really embarrassing for them because
Yeah.
it's like, 1, get a hobby. 2, one of these things is really interesting because she had told one of the people where she was like, you're in their good graces right now, but that's just until they decide that you're not. Like, enjoy it while it lasts, I guess, if you want to hang out with them, like knowing everything. But
No, this is fucked up. They wanted to drag a diva down and
diva down.
Diva down. Okay, doing this, knowing the year you've had in general, how much you've talked about wanting to get a solid group of friends, specifically women, the amount of
That
times you've
part.
talked about this, I'm imagining with these people because you've hung out with these people, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy to turn around, like, knowing someone's been having like a terrible year and has just been like leaning on their friends to
So
turn
true.
around and do that.
And that's why I don't feel embarrassed when I share things that are personal with friends. Fuck you, bitches.
No, because
Yeah.
it is a privilege to be my friend because it is a
Exactly.
privilege to get this information.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So true.
I'm really sorry that happened.
Yeah.
It's okay. I feel a lot better about it now. And it also helps going through it with
Tear
somebody else.
dripping down.
Me, well, I'm literally crying. I just am crying because I'm embarrassed. I'm honestly,
Don't
truly
be
not sad about it. I know.
Yeah.
I'm not like sad about it because I didn't value their friendship enough to be like sad and upset about it. The women are just looking at me right now.
She says they're there.
Maybe deep down you kind of knew that like you couldn't fully trust them, but it wasn't enough for you to be concerned.
Yeah, and it would never be like I was hanging out with these people one-on-one. Like we had such a great, awesome relationship that I'm mourning. Like I would be really sad about that, genuinely. And that's not how I feel. It's like for the past half a year maybe, I would talk to other people. Like I would talk to Ivana and like some other people, and I'd be like, I don't know, I wish I could get to know like these people more. Like I feel like they have a wall up. Bitch, that wall was they didn't fucking like me.
The
That
wall
was the wall.
means something. It always means something.
Yeah.
I really don't think there's any more crushing feeling as a girl thinking that you're making friends with someone and finding out that they've been being
They
an
hate
asshole.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy to me because it's like it's very high school level shit where it's like they're talking about my personal life. But a lot of other women in their 20s are like just about the same as me, including them. Like I'm not gonna air their business out to other people because I wouldn't fucking do that because I'm not a rat bitch. But like obviously these people have also like done things that if I wanted to talk about, I could. I'm not going to because one, I don't care that much. It doesn't matter to me.
You
It's
have
not
a
that
life.
interesting. And I have a life outside of just like talking shit about people. That is crazy business.
Get a second job. Clearly, you have too much time on your hands.
Yeah, get a hobby. I don't really know why one of them still isn't talking to me. Like I don't know what I did, and I think that's what's pissing me off more. Because it's like, why are you icing me out, bitch? I didn't fucking do anything.
Like, I should be icing you out.
Yeah, like I started doing it back because I was just like, fuck this person. And I started doing it back, but I was just like, I'm trying to like pinpoint if there was something that I did or if it was just something that they talked about, maybe behind my back that I was unaware of.
Yeah.
Where they decided, okay, I'm not going to talk to her anymore. I don't really know.
No, this is typical high school mean girl behavior. This is, oh, we picked this person because they're having more fun in their life than us. So clearly we have to make fun of them somehow.
Yeah. And I also think, not to sound like that person, but I think like when I've talked about the podcast, people that I've told have always been like, oh, like I've always wanted to start a podcast or I've always wanted to do something like that or make YouTube videos. Like it's super cool that you're doing it. So I feel like being, not to sound like annoying, but I think being unapologetically myself and like actually putting myself out there this year can be hard for people to see that are unhappy with themselves or want more for themselves, but they're just either too scared to do it or they just like don't have the confidence to do it.
Yeah. Like I said, you're prettier than them. You're
Yup.
more successful. That you're smarter than them.
Yup.
That
you're
part.
more confident.
That fucking
Yup.
part, dude. There was sometimes I would be talking to no tea, no shade. I was
all of it, actually.
I was talking to one of my friends about it, and I would be like, honestly, like I'm having a hard time connecting with like one of these people just because I don't feel like they understand. Like every time I have a conversation with them, like I was telling them about some like research that I was doing for my classes, and I was just like, oh, like I'm doing a mini ethnography, like I'm observing a site of learning, like I'm doing a graduate program in an ethnic fiction like classroom to learn more about like anti-colonialist structures and like pedagogy and like in the curriculum and why it's important. And they would just like I don't think they knew what any of it's like that's a big word for Elmo. Like, they don't know what any of that means.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe they don't care and like
and they don't have to.
Yeah.
But it's just like okay.
I don't know. Like maybe you just weren't compatible as friends, but
And that's fine. It's fine to not be compatible with them. But I wouldn't have shared as much if we didn't have like a good time hanging out.
mm-hmm.
And also I shared a lot with one person and then they told other people, which I'm just like, and I don't even know if they registered to themselves as being like mean girls. I think a lot of it comes from my association with my friend who they have some like
They have the same jealousy for your friend.
they have
Yeah.
the same jealousy for my friend and they also like have some like complicated relationship that they need to unpack. And because I'm friends with them, they associate me with that feeling, I think. I don't really know.
Maybe.
Like honestly, I don't know. There's a lot where I'm just like okay, I guess.
Do you feel like you, not to therapize this conversation, but do you feel like you have like learned what to avoid from like making new friends in the future?
I don't know.
Like, do you know like what the red flags were in the first place?
I
Or,
think
like,
probably just like if they're it's tough because like when I would talk about myself, they would have good advice, they would have a lot of insight and they'd have things to say. So it never felt like a self-centered conversation, but they would never really talk about themselves or their lives. And here's another thing that one of these people did. And this was part of when I stopped hanging out with them because I was just like, I'm not fucking like prying for information to get to know you. Like you either want to be my friend or you don't. They didn't clearly. But like we were talking about like dating and people who we were talking to and like things that were going on in our lives, normal things that women in their 20s talk about when they're single. Especially one of them being very freshly single. So it was something that was like the topic of conversation pretty heavily because of that. It's not like we center men in our lives or anything like that. It wouldn't be like, oh, we only talk about men with these people. But like one of them had just recently got out of a relationship, and that's why we were talking about it so much. And one of them was talking about like who she was dating, and she was like, I'm taking this one to the grave, like no one's ever gonna know. And it's like, bitch, why would you fucking say that then? Keep that to yourself. I don't need to know that you're purposefully keeping secrets from me.
Yeah.
So weird.
I think if a new friend isn't supporting your wrongs, they're not a friend, because you're in a new friendship. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be chaotic. Like that's the beginning of building a girl friendship, unless obviously you're building it off a different environment, but you weren't. This was hot girl summer. This was brat summer. Like if they weren't encouraging all of it, that's how you know. That's how you know that they're counting against you, because again, they're jealous of the life you're living.
Yeah, and I've been very upfront about saying this is my crazy bitch year. Never once did I say otherwise.
The only time I judged you is when I thought you were dead in the lagoon.
Yeah.
And that I didn't judge you, I just was worried. I was like, where are you?
You should have judged me for that. That was not a good one.
No, I still don't judge you. I'm still just like, why the fuck didn't you tell me where you were?
I didn't think that you were checking.
Well, waking up for work and you're not home was scary.
That's true. That's fair. I don't know why I stayed out that late. I didn't really like that person that much. I think I was just like not sure how to. I don't really know how to end dates.
Here we are supporting your wrongs because you were having fun.
Yeah.
Like, why would we sit there and go, you're stupid for that?
Yeah. And not to be like that person, because it doesn't matter how many people, but it wasn't that many people. I'm not going to share the exact number because that's weird. But like, I do a lot of big talking. I talk to people, but people are not very interesting. So then I stop talking to them. And then I talk to someone new, and then they're not that interesting. So then I stop talking to them. And that's sort of been the evolution of most of my year, is mostly talking. Not that it fucking matters. Even if I was like sleeping around a lot, it shouldn't be a topic of conversation for grown adult people, I don't think.
Out of all the men that you hung out with, I can only pull out 2 names.
What are they?
I'm just saying, like, of all the men you met, those are the only 2 I can pull names of, because it's the only 2 that had significant time in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
I feel like you have been a very mellow single person, in my opinion.
I could be a lot crazier.
You could be.
We could be going to
And
the
you
clinic
should
every other
be.
weekend, and we're not.
Yeah,
Right.
I have not gone to the clinic once this year for like any real purpose.
Well, don't say that.
Well, I mean, and you'll say any real purpose in the sense of like catching something.
Right.
Obviously I get tested when I sleep with someone new. Not that it's like I'm doing it constantly, but I'm smart. I'm not stupid. Don't say that.
Okay.
So true. But it's been like unraveling the shit and the tea. I've removed a lot of them. Were on my fucking Finsta. That was a jump scare, realizing that, and I was like, I'm removing all these people, obviously. But I think I might remove them once I leave my job, just because one of them doesn't know that I know. Well, none of them know that I know. But I don't want to like have that awkwardness of being like, oh, I removed you while I'm still there, and there's not like an exact date of me leaving. Yeah.
Okay, not to rush the conversation, but we should wrap this up soon.
Yeah. Well, I think that was most of the conversation. There's more to be said on that, but that will not be on the internet because I have some decency, and I'm not going to put every single thing. I'm not going to share everything, obviously, but
yeah. People are just weirdo freaks.
People are just weirdo freaks to confident women, I think.
Yeah.
Confident and hot women.
Yep.
Don't forget that part.
So true. So true.
Here's to making better girlfriends in 2025.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be a lot more cautious. My bad for being open and vulnerable with my friends, I guess, or people I thought I was my friends. But I'm definitely going to be a lot more cautious with like new people that I meet or new people that I interact with. I think I had more vulnerable, like more open to vulnerability with these people because I knew them from my friend that I trusted so much. So I was like, oh, they must be cool.
It was a Scorpio karmic event.
Yeah. I feel like I've had too many of those.
They keep coming, babe.
Yeah. Like the amount of like friend breakup. I guess there's only been like one other one this year. But I feel like there's always at least like one big one every year, every other year.
Yeah.
I'm tired of lessons.
That's really funny.
We're the ones teaching the lessons because we already learned them, bitch.
So true. That's the hard part about being like self-aware and evolved, is that you are the one teaching the lesson constantly because other
Yeah.
people don't do the work.
That's why we have a podcast, to teach you guys lessons.
And for us to admit our own lessons that we've learned.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
A lot of this is just because we just talk a lot and we need somewhere for it to go, truly.
We needed more attention on it. We needed an audience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think what I have to say is pretty cool. And I like who I am, so I'm not gonna like feel bad about it. But yeah, fuck
I love
those
who
people.
you are.
Fuck those people, weirdo little freaks.
Yeah.
Fuck those
Fuck
weirdo
them.
freaks.
Okay, yeah. I think that's all that we had to share today. I don't really know how long this episode is, but
It'll probably be like an hour. We'll see.
okay.
They'll find out.
We didn't really have a topic for today. We just had a lot of shit and a lot of tea.
Today was mostly about updates and Vivi's lesson.
Yeah.
Life
Yes.
lesson.
My
which applies to
life
everyone.
lesson. Yes. Be
cautious of your friends. If they don't share as much as you share about their personal lives, there's a power imbalance there.
Yeah. Some people really do keep your friends close and your enemies closer, like real. And I forget that.
Yep. And that all circles back to some of our secret listeners on here.
True.
So
going back to our Spotify statistics, there
Our
was
fans.
70 people you said that had us as their number one podcast,
Yep.
which doesn't sound like a lot if you're listening. But
We're a baby podcast.
we're a pretty small podcast. We don't have a lot of like marketing. We can't pay to advertise. We don't have a lot of time to like make clips to advertise us. So the fact that we're 70 people's number one is crazy. And I know a lot of those people, and a lot of those 70 don't like us, I'm sure.
Yeah. Whether you love us or you hate us, we appreciate you listening and giving us streams and feedback.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes.
And please give us ideas of what to talk about next time. Tell us what you're hating. Tell us your life events, your family drama during this holiday season. We would love to talk about those things.
Yeah.
So true.
And
Yeah.
on that note,
Okay. Later,
Later,
haters.
haters.
bye.